Hello, this is Dumont, and today I want to talk about, once again, Transformers and Bakugan. And you might be thinking, again, Dumont? Why so much? Well, the reason is because anyone that does toy reviews on YouTube, you kind of have to give credit to Transformers, because when people started doing Transformers toy reviews, this is what set the stage. This is what caused the popularity of doing toy reviews and opened the door for other toy reviews to be done. It's really the first one to really take off on YouTube. Plus, Transformers have been around much, much longer than Bakugan, and Bakugan, whether you like it or not, is a type of Transformer. Now, the one constant thing about Transformers is pretty much almost all of them. There's plenty of exceptions, but 90% of them transform into a bot, a robot. And for Bakugan, the constant is, most of them, not all of them, there's plenty of exceptions, but most of them transform into a marble form. So from marble form, they transform into some type of monster creature, something like that. So they both have a mode that most of them become. So for Transformers, it's a bot, and Bakugan, it's a marble. Alright, so now Transformers over the years have done what we call crossovers. Okay, they had a Pepsi crossover, a Nike shoe crossover. They've done the Disney label crossovers, Star Wars, and then, of course, the Marvel superhero crossovers. Basically, what I'm suggesting is, if the Transformers' next crossovers is going to be with Bakugan, all right, which Bakugans would you like to see made into a Transformer? Now, what I mentioned before, think about that, okay, is the constant thing. So instead of going from, let's say, a dragon to a marble, this time this Bakugan crossed over with Transformers is going to go from a dragon to a robot. Isn't that pretty cool? So, like with Alpha Hydronoid, it's going to be a 3-headed dragon, and hopefully it's going to look really, really cool, because it'll fully be this triple-headed dragon, and it's going to transform into a robot instead of a marble. I think that's going to be really, really awesome. So there's plenty for them to choose, okay? And who knows what the robot form is going to look like. Hopefully they're not going to make the mistake they made in Star Wars, right? And try to make it look like a human, or mixed with who knows what. So, like, for example, I remember the X-Wing, they try to make it transform into Luke, and it just looked wrong, It's a Transformer. We accept it as a robot, so it should just transform into a robot, not into a human being. You know what I mean? That doesn't make any sense. So, hopefully with Bakugan, we're not going to have, for example, Drago transform into Dan. That would be horrible. So, hopefully they'll avoid that major mistake and just make him transform into a Drago robot, and maybe it'll come with a miniature Dan or something. Now, real quick, I want you guys to think about something that is a little bit different. There are some Bakugan that are humanoid in shape, alright? So, for example, Fortress, I don't mean the trap, I mean the one that has 4 arms, four faces, okay? Fortress, Warriors, Siege, Gorham, Robotalion, Laserman. Think about these characters, alright? They're pretty much already in what would be a robot mode if they were to be a Transformer. So, these guys would have to transform into something else, since they already are in a robot form, essentially. So, what would they turn into? Like, I think it'd be cool if Laserman turned into a tank or something. Robotalion can turn into a sports car, Gorham can turn into, I don't know, a Hummer, an SUV or something like that. So you see what I'm saying? We have plenty of opportunity, not just to go from robot to the Bakugan creature, but we could also go and actually do vehicles and jets and stuff like that. That is a little bit more Transformer-esque. So now I want to go into my choices of what I would like to see from the Bakugan world crossed over into the Transformers world. So, surprise, surprise, my first choice is Alto Brontes. And yes, he is one that fits into the category of what we were just talking about, which he's already a robot, So basically his evil clown mode is already a robot. So what would he transform into? It'll be quite interesting. I think the most logical choice is an ice cream truck. But it doesn't have to be that. It could be something totally wild like an arcade machine or something else, It doesn't have to be so stereotypical. Second choice is going to be Hades, of course. I would love to see their version of Hades. I'm still waiting for a Hades mini character figure. I haven't seen it. I think it would be awesome. And my third choice would be Cyranoid. Cyranoid is just wonderful, and hopefully they're not going to do what they did with RC, especially in the new movie line. RC looks horrible, so hopefully they're going to make it actually look real feminine in robot mode and make her look really awesome. And, since she is a mermaid, she's going to transform into, I don't know, a boat or something like that, some type of cool jet boat. That would be neat. A submarine, who knows. Okay, next choice is Reaper. I would just love to see him in that, that awesome armor, the skull Grim Reaper looking armor with the horns. Yeah, he looks really, really cool. What would he transform into? I have no idea. A Grim Reaper. What would a Grim Reaper transform into? I don't know. And my final choice would be Tuskor. Tuskor, basically the mammoth, a giant elephant. I just think giant elephants are cool. Yes, they are indeed. And I think a Subterra Brawler would back me up on that.